California is taking a massive beating with people leaving, nobody wanting to stay. And not to mention, San Francisco is practically dead at this point. We're seeing a lot of people moving. We're actually seeing 2 bedrooms for once actually selling for $1 million. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but back in the peak of the real estate market, this unit right here, 555 Fulton, it was not selling for $1 million. It was selling for 1.2, 1.3, and some people even say up to $1.4 million for a single unit. And now we're going to be seeing units like these dropping even more. I mean, look at some of the luxury estates for San Francisco, okay? This one is pretty massive, 1,700 square feet in a pretty good neighborhood. And you do say it's $1.7 million, but we're going to be seeing some pretty massive price cuts. Now, don't be fooled, guys. I know it says 1 day, 2 days on Zillow, but a lot of times agents take these listings off and then re-put the listings back so it looks fresh. Even some of the most luxurious listings in San Francisco, nobody wants any of these units anymore, okay? People are leaving this place, and it's kind of getting serious, and it's very scary. San Francisco falls further into the abyss as the commercial office real estate plunges 75%. Okay, plunging 75%, is this an office building in like a really bad part of the town? No, this is actually in the best part of town. We're talking about the financial district. This is like the heart of San Francisco where most of the big companies, banks, and also skyscrapers reside. And you do see the former Union Bank building in the heart of San Francisco, 350 California Street. This is actually a top tier luxury office building, was auctioned off last week. The winning bid was $65 million. Back in 2019, it was sold for $300 million. This is a 75% less on per square foot basis than, like I said before, a few years ago. It's bad. And the reason why is nobody's coming back. With so many people kind of getting sick of San Francisco, people are not stupid. They're not going to come back if we haven't solved anything. Even before the pandemic, the city had issues. A lot of guys talked about it. Nobody acted. The city's politics is, I just want to be kind of chill about it, but it's pretty garbage. It's not great. Okay, I think a lot of people are just kind of sick about what the politicians are doing. Some people are also saying that a lot of the funds being used are not being used correctly. And one of the examples is spending $1.7 million on a single toilet. I mean, come on. $1.7 million could probably get you like 100 toilets in San Francisco. So you get the idea. Like the money spending is not great. The politics is not great. And people are leaving. And once people tasted that freedom of remote working, a lot of these guys are refusing to come back. People who are getting paid $150,000 working online, are they moving back to San Francisco? Absolutely not. They're moving to big mansions in the suburbs. They're going to Costa Rica. They're becoming digital nomads. They're working from home. They're moving to beaches. Some people are just traveling around the world working online. It's a really refreshing experience for a lot of these people who back in the old days, they have to be in the office, but not anymore. Online working is actually beneficial for big companies. And this is why San Francisco is practically pulling at Detroit. Detroit's very similar. You know, they were a really bustling town with a lot of automotives, and the automotive industry eventually left and some collapsed. Guess what happened? Housing prices went down. You got the introduction of literally $1 homes. Same thing with San Francisco. You have a lot of these luxury buildings being built for very rich people, but the rich people aren't moving back. So what now? Okay, bad stuff. Now, if you look at this, it's getting even worse. Now, we already have a bunch of companies moving out of San Francisco in the Bay Area and a lot of tech workers along with it. But even now, Uber is unloading part of its San Francisco HQ. Now, if you look at what's going on here, Uber doesn't want to have their 250,000 square feet of office space. Now they're trying to sublease this to someone else. And the chances are of someone else coming in and getting 250,000 square feet is going to be extremely rare unless they make it super cheap. I mean, you have whole skyscrapers being sold off for 75% off. I don't know the last time when Black Friday was 75% off. So you get the idea. The prices are getting so cheap. I mean, at this point, you're going to have to start paying people to come back. It's bad. Now, compared to other office real estate prices in the U.S., it's ranked first as the worst investment. But there's also several other cities in the US where office real estate is going down because US's office vacancies are about 20 to 25%. Whereas a lot of places like Singapore, people are grabbing office space like crazy. And people are fighting for that stuff. And remember, San Francisco is losing billions a year in local spending to remote working. Now, San Francisco, the city itself, has only about 850,000 people. And so far, what the rumors are saying is 75,000 people have probably left San Francisco. And definitely over 100,000 people or more, probably 250,000 at this point, has probably left the Bay Area. But what the reports are saying is about 40,000 people have left San Francisco and maybe a little over 100,000 people have left the Bay Area. But people are speculating that right now there's a exponential rise of people leaving. If you go to San Francisco right now, you'd probably be seeing a lot of U-Haul trucks, moving services. And moving services are saying that even right now, they're making a bunch of money because of the amount of people leaving the city. If you check this out, San Francisco is having a ton of people leaving. This is one of the cities that is experiencing a massive exodus, and you do see a lot of the towns here are all very expensive cities, and they're all big cities that people used to want to go, but now people just want to go to the suburbs, spend $500K and buy a massive mansion with a pool in the backyard. People want that kind of life these days. They don't want to spend 500 grand for a kitchen in the middle of like a bad part of town. They don't want that. And these tech workers are working from home. Some of them have wives with a combined salary of over $200,000. Why should they go back to San Francisco and live a peasant life when they could live like a king in other areas? And the city is really, really getting scared. And the city has a limited amount of funds. And with so many tech companies moving out and you have office vacancies being one of the highest in the world, and this is for a S-tier tech city, it spills bad news. And San Francisco is very scared. Developers aren't happy. They just built these brand new condos to sell and nobody's buying them. Everyone, literally, everyone was banking on all the tech workers to come back. In fact, people are even banking that more tech workers will come back. But it's very different. And this real estate crash is immense. When you have whole skyscrapers being sold for 75% off, it makes people really wonder, hey, is this $4 million condo really worth $4 million? And before we leave, I'm sure you guys are also asking the most important question. Okay, if condos are this expensive and, if they make it cheaper, people will buy them, then why not just make offices condos? It's not really viable because it costs about $1,000 per square feet to convert one of those skyscrapers to a full condo building. So they're going to be losing out on even more money. Yeah, so essentially, you could buy the office space, but you're going to be losing a crap ton of money if you try to turn it to residential. And if you can't turn it to residential, what's the point of buying these office buildings? It's a pretty bad situation here. And also a lot of rich people who have money for San Francisco real estate, they're buying it elsewhere. With most Americans willing to purchase out of the country properties, like places in Canada, Portugal, and also the Middle East, places like Australia and Singapore are getting extremely popular with Americans. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment below before you guys leave. Definitely check out the private Discord server. Patreon link below for some amazing trades. $10 a month, and we trade live on a daily basis every day.